Tonight, students are swinging into a fun activity.
Plus, remembering 9/11. Stay tuned. TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to TrojanVision Nightly News for September the 11th, 2012. I'm Deidre Montgomery.
And I'm Judson Garner. Thanks for joining us this evening. Today is a day when many Americans will reflect on their memories of the attacks on September 11th, but many current Troy students were just in elementary school on that fateful day in 2001. And for some of those, the images they remember might not be so clear. The September 11th attacks on the Pentagon and Twin Towers quickly put many businesses across the nation on high security alert, including Farley Nuclear Plant near Dothan, Alabama.
Farley, since it is a nuclear plant, they were on lockdown. My dad couldn't come home. He didn't come home for probably 14 or 15 hours because they didn't want anyone getting in or getting out, because that's how big it was. It was even affecting protocol down here in the South. Comprehending the destruction of the terrorist attacks is difficult for many Americans. But most current Troy University students were probably too young to understand what they saw on TV. But they did see how it affected adults, which in turn affected them.
They didn't tell us whenever I was in class, what happened, but I came home and my mom was in panic because she thought my aunt was on the flight because she's a flight attendant.
Well, my teacher, she took it real serious because her husband was in the military. So she really didn't want no laughing or joking going on. She stopped the class and made us really watch it.
I mean, it was tough to see them because my mom, she's from New York, and so she was very, very sad and disheartened, and it was a very overwhelming experience.
11 years later, those elementary, junior high school age children are now young American adults who have grown a better understanding of that day and a sense of appreciation for their nation.
Then I was young, but now I did. 3 years later, I got a chance to go to New York, and I actually saw the spot. So it really had an impact on me because there were so many lives that were taken that day.
I've just as easily been an adult working in the Twin Towers and have been one of the fallen people that, I'm so blessed to say that, I'm alive today. Troy students took time to honor the victims of the September 11th attacks through their Care for the Community Day last Saturday. Over 250 students took part.
A penny may not seem like a lot of money to most people, but this week it could help some on-campus residents reign supreme over their fellow dorm dwellers. Caitlin Crow has the story.
This week, the Resident Hall Association is hosting Penny Wars to raise money. But what exactly is Penny Wars and who is it benefiting?
We sponsor Penny Wars, just try to collect money in different jars. Whichever community you live in, then you try to put your money in that jar, and then whichever jar has the most money kind of wins the whole competition.
And the benefits American Cancer Society, so it's all for a good cause, and we're just out here to support them and kind of have a friendly rivalry.
RHA hosts events such as this each semester, but this is the first time that RHA has hosted Penny Wars.
Yeah, every semester we try to do something different to raise money. Last semester we gave out raffle tickets, and if your name was chosen, you win a prize. So every semester we try to do something different. So we thought Penny Wars would be a good idea because competition, a lot of people will come together for their community to try to win. So we thought Penny Wars would be a really good benefit.
Getting involved in Penny Wars is probably much easier than you think.
Good way to get involved on campus, and if you have a lot of spare change, you could just donate it to a good cause.
Penny Wars will be held in the Trojan Center Food Court Tuesday through Thursday from 10 to 2. Caitlin Crow, Troy TrojanVision News.
And again, the dorm Penny Wars will continue for the rest of the week in the Trojan Center Food Court. Well, Judson, there are many clubs on campus that help the environment, clubs that help animals, and even clubs for fashion models.
That's right, Deidre. There's a lot of clubs on campus, and last night a club held its first meeting that gets its members moving and shaking. Kayla Magoo has the details.
Monday nights offer a chance for students to cut loose from their studies. Troy Swing Dance Club kicked off its first meeting Monday, and students were excited to join in the fun.
I have to learn this, and I was really excited, so I brought some of my friends out with me, and we came out to get involved and just try and learn it.
One student says to just show up, and you'll make plenty of friends, no partner needed.
The reason I came tonight is apparently there wasn't many guys, but when I showed up, I didn't have a partner because the room was just filled.
A few students shared the benefits of coming out to swing dance.
If you need some way to relax, this is definitely the way to do it because you can kind of let loose but also get some of your energy out, and it's a nice break from doing homework.
I like to call it funnercise. It's fun exercise, but you feel so good the next day because you've done your cardio, you've done all of your other exercises that you're supposed to do, and you have fun doing it. You meet a ton of new people.
The Swing Dance Club was started just last year by student Aubrey Toole, who says that the club will be adding some changes this year.
Each month we'll have a different style. We'll teach like a Latin style, maybe a tango and that kind of thing. So at the beginning of each month. So that'll be different coming up this semester.
And all students have to do to join is
just come and sign their name and have their email and also pay $5 dues. It's just $5 for the whole semester. It's actually one of the cheapest on campus.
Kayla Magoo, Troy TrojanVision News.
The Swing Club meets every Monday at 8:30 in Wright Hall Gym.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Huntsville, court officials say a former professor has pleaded guilty to fatally shooting 3 colleagues and wounding 3 others at a faculty meeting at the University of Alabama in Huntsville. Amy Bishop on Tuesday pleaded guilty to 1 count of capital murder involving 2 or more people and 3 counts of attempted murder.
In Montgomery, former Alabama Governor Don Siegelman said he was in good spirits as he prepared to enter prison to complete a 78-month sentence for his federal government corruption conviction. Siegelman has been ordered to report to federal prison in Oakdale, Louisiana by 2 p.m. today. The man, who has served in 4 of Alabama's top elected offices, said he is optimistic he will eventually be pardoned by President Obama.
And also in Montgomery, the state of Alabama has asked a federal appeals court to reconsider parts of 2 opinions that struck down some provisions of Alabama's immigration law. Governor Robert Bentley said Monday the state was challenging a 3-judge panel decision to strike down parts of Alabama's law concerning harboring illegal immigrants contracts and collecting school data on immigrants. Bentley said the contract was placing an illegal restraint on state governments.
And still to come on Troy TrojanVision Nightly News, Trojan quarterback Corey Robinson had a career game against ULL. Justin McNeely will give us the details in sports.
But first, people in the nation take some time to remember the attacks on 9/11. We'll have that story and more after the break.
From New York to Shanksville to here at the Pentagon, Americans remember 9/11. I'm Danielle Nottingham in Arlington, Virginia. I'll have the story coming up.
When you're finished with your food or beverage cartons, toss it in the recycling bin. Because every carton is recyclable and can be turned into useful paper products. Put your carton in the bin with your other recyclables and let them start a new life. When the contents are gone, let the carton live on. Recycle your cartons.
Check out this chef, right? Right? That's so gay. That's really gay. Look at those pants.
Please don't say that.
What?
Don't say that something is gay when you mean that something is dumb or stupid. It's insulting. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, and this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. Just saying. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now for a look at what's happening across the nation and around the world, we'll go to Deatra Montgomery at the Global News Desk. Deatra?
Thanks, Judson. Americans are pausing to mark the 11th anniversary of the September 11th attacks. The country's leader and the families of the victims are taking part in solemn ceremonies in Washington, New York, and Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Danielle Nottingham reports from Arlington, Virginia.
Bells and silence mark the moments when hijacked planes hit the World Trade Center.
Brian Thomas Cummins.
Those who lost loved ones gathered at the 9/11 Memorial in Lower Manhattan to read the names of nearly 3,000 victims. In Washington, President Obama started the day with a moment of silence on the White House lawn. He and the First Lady laid a wreath at the Pentagon, where 184 people were killed.
No matter how many times we come together on this hallowed ground, know this, that you will never be alone. Your loved ones will never be forgotten.
The flag marks where Flight 77 slammed into the Pentagon. Less than a half hour later, passengers helped bring down a plane bound for the White House or the Capitol in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Vice President Biden took part in the Shanksville ceremony, honoring 40 passengers and crew members who died on Flight 93. White House hopeful Mitt Romney thanked firefighters in Chicago on his way to Reno to address the members of the National Guard.
Throughout the last 11 years, Guardsmen and women have helped keep us safe from attack, and the nation owes you a great debt of gratitude.
Members of Congress gathered on the Capitol steps, much like they did 11 years ago. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Arlington, Virginia.
Ever wonder why some people can eat anything and never gain weight, while others gain 10 pounds just looking at a rich dessert? Scientists have wondered too. Now new research finds it could have something to do with bacteria in the body. Here's Susan Hendricks with a report.
Why are some people obese and others not? Are the lack of exercise and poor diet the only factors that lead to someone becoming overweight? Researchers don't think so. Many believe a number of environmental and genetic factors lead to morbid obesity. Now researchers at the University of Maryland School of Medicine have identified 26 different types of bacteria in the human digestive system that appear to be linked to obesity. They believe these bacteria could cause a condition known as metabolic syndrome, which is made up of different factors, which increases the risk of heart problems and diabetes.
They include elevated cholesterol levels, elevated serum triglyceride levels, high fasting glucose levels, insulin resistance, high blood pressure.
The data was gathered from the famous Old Order Amish study of Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. It showed an apparent link between the gut bacteria and inflammation, which has been shown to be a major factor in obesity and other chronic diseases.
Such things as inflammatory bowel disease, cancer, atherosclerosis.
Authors of the study say more research is needed to see if the chicken and the egg theory applies, meaning if obesity is caused by the bacteria or the bacteria is caused by being overweight. But if doctors do find the bacteria is part of the cause, they may be able to find treatments to prevent morbid obesity in people. For today's Health Minute, I'm Susan Hendricks.
And that wraps things up from the Global News Desk. To see more stories from across the country and around the world, you can tune into Trojan Vision Global News right after the nightly news. Now, back to you, Judson.
Thanks, Deatra. And now Justin McNelly joins us for a look at sports. So, Justin, although the Trojans unfortunately lost this past weekend, a player made some personal achievements.
That's right. Trojan quarterback Corey Robinson had a career-setting game this past weekend against ULL, but I'll get to that here in sports. Saturday night was a historic night for the Trojan football team. It's the first time the Trojans ever lost a home opener under Coach Larry Blakeney. But as Danielle Percival tells us, there were other positive reasons why the game will be in the record books.
The Trojan offense posted 588 yards in the game on Saturday, but it still wasn't enough to get past the Raging Cajuns. However, the player of the game might have been quarterback Corey Robinson. Robinson broke 5 school records in the game. He broke the career marks for total offense, passing yards, and passing attempts, while also setting single-game records for completions and passing yards. Robinson's stats, 46 of 70 for 485 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. But Robinson said the credit doesn't belong to him.
I haven't done it alone. I want to thank, first off, all the offensive lines that I played behind for the past 3 years, and the receivers catching the footballs and the running backs catching the footballs. As far as those records go, man, I just want to thank all those guys and, my coaches for sticking with me and believing in me after a year like that last year.
Despite a record-setting night for Robinson, he said it wasn't the stats, but the scoreboard that mattered in the end.
We're going to break through. I think we're close to being really good. We can put up the yards all day. We just got to get in the end zone. And once we start doing that, we'll be tough to beat.
While Robinson was a leader on the field Saturday night, he said that becoming a more vocal leader off the field was also important.
Some of the guys, man, we got to step up and be more vocal leaders. over there, myself included. You know, I'm not a very vocal guy over there, so I guess, you know, me and a couple more guys are going to have to step up and, you know, keep everybody going on the sideline.
Danielle Percival, Troy, Trojan Vision Sports.
Robinson looks to add to his historic career as the Trojans play host to Mississippi State this Saturday at Larry Blakeney Field at 6 p.m. And even though they were unable to win back-to-back tournament titles, the Trojan volleyball team still played some tough games and took home second place. The Trojans made their way to the championship match against Kennesaw State after defeating Tennessee State in 3 sets. The Trojans, however, dropped the tournament finale in 4 sets to the host Owls. Blair Winston led the way for the Trojans on the entire weekend with 52 kills. Devin Von Pingle was next on the team, posting 42 kills. Head coach Sonny Kirkpatrick said that the key to his team's success is staying consistent.
It's about consistency. It's about staying disciplined and staying within our system. And when we do that, we're okay. I'd say we're pretty good. The minute that discipline and we try to go back to old habits and stuff that's worked in the past, we're not average.
The rest of the week to prepare and practice hard for their weekend tournament trip to Montgomery in the ASU Invitational. The Trojans are slated to play the home team Friday at 1 p.m. And after the soccer team suffered the same fate as the volleyball team did as they traveled out of state and brought home the silver instead of the gold. The Trojans won in dramatic fashion against Elon when Cecilia Thorngren netted the game-winning goal with 54 seconds remaining in double overtime. However, Troy was then blanked by host team UNC Wilmington 4-0 to send Troy home with another second-place finish. With Thorngren's goal against Elon, it gives her 4 on the season. She also added an assist to Peyton Donnelly, giving her a season total of 13 points. Head coach Chris Bentley with his thoughts on Thorngren's overtime thriller.
Look, it's exciting. It's overtime. You get in a situation like that, and you're just hoping that we can get a shot on frame to test the keeper, especially that type of situation. And she was a cracker of a shot. I mean, it was a great shot. Put it in. Of course, the girls went wild. It's actually funny because, you know, in overtime they can just run on the field and celebrate.
The Trojans will be home this Sunday for a matchup against Mercer University. First kick is set for 1 p.m. And the Trojans men's golf team had a chance to bring home the team title, and Sophia Bjorkman looked to bring home the individual title for the women's. However, things did not fare well for either as the Trojan men's fell one spot to third, shooting an .866 for the tournament. Tolliver Dozier finished third overall with a score of .210, 6 under par. Sophia Bjorkman suffered the same fate as the second-round co-leader dropped 3 spots after shooting a 74, 3 over par for the third round. Bjorkman finished the tournament with a score of .216, 3 over par. So as you can see, Judson and Diatra, this really wasn't the weekend Trojan fans were expecting. They came out there, had some tough losses, but they also played some good games. Hopefully they could turn around this weekend with some more.
Yeah, and we have a big game this weekend against Mississippi State, so hopefully the Trojans will pull out a victory.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Justin.
All right,
thank you. Coming up on Trojan Vision Nightly News, we will find out changes to homecoming activities for students.
But first, we've seen picture-perfect weather so far this week, but how long will that last, Bree?
We have been experiencing those picture-perfect conditions, and it looks like they may be here to stay. I'll have more coming up in weather.
I have fallen in love with social work, and I think I finally found my niche and what I'm good at and what I can go far in life.
As soon as I started athletic training, I fell in love with it.
Troy University's College of Health and Human Services prepares students for high-demand careers of today and tomorrow. Careers offering attractive pay and the opportunity to make a difference in the lives of others.
My courses aren't just classwork. I've worked with the Department of Human Resources to put my skills to work with helping people.
With bachelor's and advanced degrees in athletic training, sport and fitness management, nursing, human services, rehabilitation and social work, health education, and physical education, all of Troy's College of Health and Human Services programs are nationally accredited, and our helpful faculty is dedicated to quality and student success.
As long as you're willing to do the work, they're willing to sacrifice their time and effort to make sure that you get to your goal.
We change the world. Come join us.
Contact Troy University, where we educate the mind to think, the heart to feel, and the body to act.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning Trojan Vision Nightly News.
And now Bree Sanders joins us for a look at weather.
So Bree, last week we were experiencing some very hot temperatures, and this week we're experiencing some really good temperatures, cool weather. Is that going to stay for the rest of the week?
Well, it looks like after those rainy conditions and sunny conditions we had last week, those picture-perfect conditions will be here to stay, but I'll get more into that in just a moment. First, let's take a look at our campus snapshot. Right now on campus, we see the sun is setting perfectly over Bibb Grave, so whether you're headed to class or headed home from work, you can definitely stand outside and enjoy the view. Current conditions right now, we have partly cloudy skies, temperatures at 81 degrees, dew points at 56 degrees, humidity is at 42%, barometers at 30.06 inches and steady. Winds are coming in from the east-northeast at about 10 miles per hour. Today's stats, we had a high today of 82, a low of 61. There was no rain today. The sun rises at 6:23 a.m. and it should set at 6:54 p.m. Temperatures around the state. Overall, the state is experiencing some mixture of 80-degree temperatures right now. Mobile coming in with a high at 87. Huntsville and Birmingham coming in with a low at 81. Montgomery at 85. Troy at 81. Phoenix City at 83. And Dothan at 84. Looking at our temperatures in our area here in the mid part of our state, we're experiencing some lower 80-degree temperatures, and as we move throughout the rest of the southeast into the Carolinas, those temperatures decrease significantly into about the mid-70s. Looking at our temperatures around the United States, here on the West Coast, they're experiencing a mixture of temperatures. The upper 50s, mid-60s, mid-70s, and as we head back towards the east, those temperatures remain constant right there in the mid-70s. Looking at our current surface map, here in the west, we have a few low-pressure systems and high-pressure systems, a cold front coming through, bringing in some rain in their area, a reason for their lower temperatures right now. Taking a closer look at our area, nothing too much going on in the state right now. A few low-pressure systems, light winds coming in through our area. Other than that, very nice outside. Taking a look at our departure from normal, we're about 2 degrees cooler than what we've been experiencing lately. I guess maybe it is time to say hello to those fall temperatures. Precipitation forecast for the next 48 hours. In our area, it doesn't look like we'll be expecting too much rain. However, we see certain parts of the state here, the southwestern part, will be experiencing maybe about a 20 or 30% chance of rain or so, but unless you're traveling in that area, you shouldn't have too much to worry about. As we move into tomorrow, still no rain in our area. It looks like the southeast as a whole should be clear, picture-perfect conditions. Moving in on Thursday, still remains the same. Nothing too much going on in our area. However, the Midwest, they will be experiencing a few rain conditions in their area, about half an inch or an inch of rain or so, possibly moving towards our area within the next week. Moving in on Friday, as we try to kick off our weekend, we see that rain moves further into our area, tries to come into our state a little bit, but we shouldn't be expecting it until possibly later on Saturday when it hits most of Tennessee, possibly coming in through the Huntsville, Birmingham area. Be on the lookout for that. Later on tonight, we have partly cloudy skies, light winds coming in from the east at about 6 miles per hour with a low of 62. So tonight will be much like last night. It'll be breezy outside, so you can definitely go out and enjoy your night if you like. For tomorrow's forecast, we have mostly cloudy skies, intervals of clouds and sunshine, windy tomorrow, winds coming in from the east at about 9 miles per hour with a high of 85. So tomorrow will be much like today. Very beautiful outside, windy. You can definitely go outside and enjoy your day. You don't have to worry about the rain tomorrow. As we head into our 4-day forecast, going into Wednesday, the high gets to 85, low gets to 64. It'll be very pretty outside, mostly cloudy, about a 10% chance of rain, but that rain shouldn't be headed into our area anytime soon. As we move into Thursday, the high gets to 86, low gets to 65. Going in on Friday, we still have mostly cloudy skies. The high gets back up to about 86 with a low of 67. And on Saturday, the high gets to about 87. It'll be the warmest that we'll see all week. Still no rain in our area, so you can definitely go out and enjoy your week. So, Deatra, last week we did have those mixture of conditions. We had a little bit of rain, a little bit of sunshine, a little bit of clouds, a little bit of clear skies. But it seems as if for the next few days or so, we will have those picture-perfect conditions, so you can definitely go outside and enjoy your day.
So this is definitely the time to go out, throw a Frisbee on the quad, have picnics on the quad. Perfect timing. Well, thank you so much, Bree.
You're welcome.
Thanks.